Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Geekin' Since the 90s. This is our episode 2 of the first season of Lanterns Review. If you haven't already, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and hype up this video when you get a chance if you enjoy our review recaps and talking about all things that has to do with geeks. So before we get into this episode, first and foremost, we got to introduce the man of the hour himself, CJ. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? I'm good. Excited to talk about this episode. This was another banger. Well, to me, it was another banger. I'm hyped for
Yeah.
this. Let's get it.
Yeah, it's easy. Got his brand new fresh Green Lantern T-shirt on. He ready for the episode.
Had to
As we
do
talk,
it.
yeah, had to do. As I told him before, guys, we were talking about this before. I ordered a shirt and a hat, and neither one of them came in. So I think Amazon just knew, like, yo, you just started getting on Green Lantern. Don't start buying merch yet. At least get it to
Yeah,
episode 5
Amazon.
before you start wearing stuff.
Yeah, Amazon tried you, bro. That's
They
crazy.
got me. And you didn't know, as you can see at the bottom of my
That's
picture, it's
crazy.
Hear These Thoughts. That's my name. But yeah, let's get into this episode. We had another banger, as you said. So
Absolutely.
dang, I'm trying to remember the order. So we started off with Hal Jordan walking into the room, throwing water
Hmm.
on my guy while he was asleep. And he's like, "What are you doing here? Aren't you supposed to be talking to the Guardians?" He's like, "No, I'm going to train you." And then they go outside and they go through
Hmm.
the sequence of Hal Jordan trying to
Teaching him how to
teach John
fly.
Stewart how to fly. Yeah, how to fly. And when John Stewart tries to fly, he steps on his tippy toes as if he's going to fly, and he produces a green bird. And the bird flies down,
Yo, John
goes,
made this weird face, bro, trying to fly.
"Who, John?"
I
Yeah,
don't know if you remember. I don't know if you saw the face he made when he was trying to fly. He
yeah.
was like, I don't know what the fuck that was, bro.
But it was so
His
relatable. It's like
face was
you think that that's what's gonna
hilarious
make
when
you
he was trying
fly.
to fly.
Like, what would he do? Like,
Hmm. Because he was like, he made that face. Would you make like when you thinking mad hard?
yeah,
Either you thinking mad hard, you concentrating mad hard, or you taking a you had to take a serious shit and you make that face.
yeah,
He just like you pushing through. That's the
yeah.
face he made, bro. Like I was dying laughing. Like, look at this guy, man.
That's the official face expression of clenching your butt. That's just what that was. Like he's like,
Yeah,
yo, I'm gonna force this. He's like either one or two things. Some green gonna come out one way or another. Like I'm
oh
gonna
my
fly
god,
one way or another from the ring or from the other place. But
yo, that's
um
a fact.
but he was unsuccessful in flying. He got the bird there.
Hmm.
I thought what was really
Yeah.
interesting. But I'll say it after you say your part about this. So what do you think about this whole sequence?
Well, yeah, I like the sequence. I still, it continues to show the chemistry between these guys. Like it's just, it's flawless. Like and it's funny. Like we can't forget like who they wanted for this role of Hal Jordan first was Josh Brolin, and Josh Brolin, he basically said, "Nah, I'm good." He rejected it,
Mm,
and thank God because I don't think
yeah,
Josh Brolin would have this chemistry with Aaron Pierre. I just don't.
yep,
And um, Kyle Chandler is just awesome. And I'm not saying nothing bad about Aaron Pierre. Like he plays a perfect. To me, he plays a perfect John Stewart. I'm enjoying his John Stewart. That stoic, nature. He's a military guy. He just, and sometimes he does show a little bit of humor at times, and I like that. His humor isn't forced just to try to keep up with Kyle Chandler, Kyle
right,
Jordan. He's the same stoic character, but you know, there's instances where there's that um there's that humor, that dry humor from him. But man, Kyle Chandler, bro, like he steals everything. I'm sorry, like this guy just steals every scene he's in, and
I
he's
agree.
just amazing. Like he's awesome. He's an awesome Hal Jordan. But I like this sequence. Um, him teaching how to fly with the bird and the look on Hal's face when the bird's on John's shoulder, the look on his face is like, yo, I took my ring back and that bird is still here.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, whoa. And you saw the look on he had this shocked look on his face and he quickly shook it off. But even he could tell like he's not supposed to be able to do that. So it shows how strong of a Green Lantern John Stewart really is. You're starting to think in your brain, The Guardians chose this guy for a reason. Maybe they know, they've seen, they have a hunch, or they know how his potential can be, and Hal doesn't know that yet. But one of the dynamics I like about them, like you can tell John is a little annoyed by him. He's annoyed by him.
Oh yeah.
Hal can't stand the fact that, yeah, Hal knows for sure that he's his replacement. Can't stand it. But they still have that dynamic of John still, he's a military guy. He respects the chain of command.
Hmm.
He's wondering if Hal Jordan trusts him. He's wondering, Hal Jordan's wondering if he can trust John Stewart. But in that little, there's like a little thing there between them. Like they do trust each other.
Hmm.
Is there? Is deep down there, but they do trust each other. But they still have a little. They still have a. The Guardians sent him. What are the Guardians up to?
Right.
He's been sent by the Guardians. Like, what are the Guardians up to? Or in John's case, the Guardians don't seem to trust Hal Jordan. What's his
I think
motive?
that's. I
So
think that. Yeah.
yeah,
No, no, that's 100% true, and that's what the main thing I did notice too is how Jordan looking at John Stewart's shoulder, looking at that bird, because he couldn't get his eyes off of it. He just was like turned around. He's
hmm
like, "I'm gonna show you how to recharge the ring because the ring was at 5%." So he tapped it on the card to give it like a quick jump, kind of like we used to do like batteries back in the day, just
yeah,
like tap it and then get like a quick recharge. And he kind of
yeah,
looked at it like, what is not only because when I thought about that and just a little bit further in the episode, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, but like you said,
hmm
he was wondering like, how does this guy still have this bird here? It didn't dissipate when like quickly. It's still there. It's still around. And
yeah.
later on in the episode, he asked him, he's like, "Hey, do you have some type of like attachment to that bird? Is this something that happened in your history that's associated with that bird?" It's almost like he's trying to little by little investigate the mind of John Stewart and find out. You can
Yeah,
tell that there's something about him he doesn't trust. There's something about this
he's
guy
hiding something,
that he's hiding, and he feels like he's not telling me about. So
which
that
I
I
think we're
think
gonna find out in the next episode what he's
absolutely, and
hiding.
I absolutely, and I
hmm
love that they do like these little bitty nods, and we're gonna get an understanding of what that bird exactly meant. So at first I
hmm
was like, okay, does the bird obviously it's still existing without the ring? We know that that means that John Stewart probably is a more stronger Green Lantern than we think. But I wonder if the bird itself signifies something specifically,
It's a.
just the bird.
I think it has to do with his mom.
Oh, okay,
We
okay,
we don't see no mention of his mom at all.
hmm,
We don't see no mention of his mom. We don't see his mom. But well, if you watch
the preview for next
the
episode.
little the preview for next episode, we see his
Yeah,
mom. So I think that's a that has something to do with his mom, because you talked about the end when Hal asked him about, what does it mean? What's the meaning of it? If you look at John Stewart's face, he had like a sadness in his face when he kept telling him, "No, it's nothing. Don't." But he had a
yeah,
sadness, a sad look on his face when he made the bird disappear.
yeah,
So I think that trauma has something to do with his mom. I mean, obviously we're gonna find out next episode what happened with his mom and his
hmm.
dad and the whole dynamic or whatever. But but I think that's
That's
what it is. I think it has to do with his mom. Yeah.
I agree because then that goes back to when the bird first got on his shoulder. You see the amount of joy on John Stewart's face when he looked at the bird, and then once he
Yep.
looked at Hal Jordan, he just straightened it up like I can't be smiling right now. So obviously there's deep in meaning to that, but I wonder what that bird symbolized also to Hal Jordan.
Yep.
So there has to be some double connection there, and maybe I'm overthinking it, but I think this show is like it
That's
gave us
true.
enough to really believe
Yeah.
that it's doing stuff like that. So later
It's
on,
good that you're overthinking it, but that's the beauty of the show.
yeah, 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 yep. Yep. And it's a detective show, so you can't like just sit back and just be nonchalant about everything that happens here. Everything happens for a reason, and I feel like it's all foreshadowing something we're gonna find out in the future, which is great. Um,
Yep.
and then we see
For
how
sure.
Jordan floating into the air. He's looking for I guess it's a town center or whatever it was. He was like, it's right there, and then the ring pretty much said is about to die. He falls down, slams into the concrete, goes into this town hall meeting with all these people there with the wife of the guy that we met in the last episode, and she's up front talking to the city, and they're somehow talking about the football game. But he's trying to figure out from the lawyer that defended him in court, what were they talking about before I got here? and he told him, and he's
Mhm.
like, "Hey, I got you off on these assault charges." He's like, "How much do I owe you?" Nothing. Which goes to the inkling of what John Stewart or how Jordan is saying. I feel like people don't want me here because it is kind of weird. They like, hey, let's hurry up and get you off the charges for free. Let's just get you up out of this town. Because he was like, you can go back to wherever you came from, all free. And it's
Mhm.
weird that they were trying to hurry up and make it so easy for him to leave. You know?
Yeah, Macon doesn't want him there. Macon doesn't want him there at all. And
Yep.
he and it's obvious because when he told him last episode, like he brought him to the ranch to let him know, like, I need you to find the aliens. I know it's aliens. There's a reason
Right.
why I know it's aliens. We don't know why he knows it's alien. It's alien. Why he believes Hal Jordan. We later find that out. But
Mm-hmm.
Macon wants him gone now because his benefactor doesn't need him anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't need Hal Jordan anymore. And Macon wants him gone because he doesn't want Hal Jordan to find out what's really going on in this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much what it is. That's why they want him gone. And I do think Sheriff Carey, she's you could tell, like, yeah, she's married to this guy, but she got a thing for Hal Jordan. You could tell, like, she
Oh,
like
for
him.
sure.
She actually
Yeah.
she really likes him. But he's annoying. He's annoying the hell out of her. But he she's also she knows. She didn't want to believe that it was an alien. Like when she told him the truth last episode, when she was like, "I don't want to believe it's not an alien. I don't want to believe it." But when she when it turns out to be like she knows, she probably doesn't know the full story or full reason why Macon's doing whatever he's doing,
Mm-hmm.
but she's trying to warn Hal, like, "Hey, man, you gotta go. Just go. Like, you don't want to be a part of this." Like, she's trying to help him. She's trying to warn him,
Yeah.
but well, what I like about the show is so this is like a they're trying to do like a true detective thing, but they're saying but this is a space cop show. Right now, their mission is on Earth, and they have to solve this crime on Earth. And I like the fact that the ring is basically it is a weapon. It's a weapon of mass destruction. But the ring is only used um when it really needs to be used. They're not abusing the ring. And I
Right.
like the fact that and they're showing you that the ring right now is extra. How Jordan is good enough without the ring to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
John Stewart is good enough without the ring to get things done. Because let's be honest, this show would have been over in maybe half an hour. You could figure a bunch of shit out with just the ring. The
Right.
ring could scan shit. Like when they were on the field, like when he had the last episode, like he could have just scanned the field or scanned the area, and the ring could have told him everything he needed to know. But
Right.
it's important thing that he always said to John. Important thing he said to John. It's not about the jewelry, Junior. It's about how it's about when and if to use it. So that's one of the things I like, and it shows. As we see. One thing we do got to mention that how Jordan sent John Stewart. He bought him a plane ticket. He
Mm-hmm.
sent John Stewart to his home in Coast City to go get the
Mm-hmm.
lantern, and it shows you how bluffed the alien because the alien was right. You ain't got that much power in that ring.
Mm-hmm.
It shows how much the end of the first episode,
Mm-hmm.
like he was lucky to be able to cover up that bomb, that
Yep.
explosion, because his ring was losing power and losing power fast. So he sent John to go get the lantern in his house,
Mm-hmm.
and he told him to make sure he feeds Earl. That whole sequence was that whole se- I love that whole sequence. That whole sequence was dope because he stayed on the phone with him, show him where the key was. He got into the house, and by the way, Hal Jordan has a fucking mansion,
Yes.
has a mansion. But I love the fact that he explained it like he this rich guy's son that he saved. He basically got the house off of him because he was embarrassed he couldn't save the son himself.
Hmm.
So he basically gave Hal Jordan that house, which
Right.
is which, hey, I guess is a good explanation because he did. John asked him, "Yo, how much does Green Lanterns get paid?" And dude said, "Not enough."
Not enough, right? Like regular
Yeah,
cops, right?
yeah. And then when John finally got upstairs, got to the closet, and we see three different suits, two that are covered up, and then one
Hmm.
that's out. And I like the fact, and you know what? People complain a lot in the trailers about his suit. It's not green enough, da da da. And I never understood how people can't figure out. So it's not the suit is not construct like that horrible 2011 movie. It's
Hmm.
obviously a physical suit that they're going with. And
Hmm.
his suit looks like that. The green looks faded because he's been Green Lantern for 30 fucking years.
Right.
He's been through how many battles? That's why he has different two other suits. But clearly
Hmm.
he's been wearing this one out. Um but and
I,
I like the
I
fact
think people
that
can
John
figure it
looked at
out.
the
They don't
suit
want to.
and he's a military guy. You already know, bro. And I like that fact that John looked at the suit and then and John was just mesmerized by the suit. He went in front of the mirror, checking the suit out, see how it looks, see how it looks on him and
Yeah.
everything. And here's another thing: if fans of this universe have watched Peacemaker, have watched Superman, and the fact that when he got into the closet and got to the safe box when Hal Jordan's his voice activated. He put the phone on speaker, put it by the box, and he said, "What did he say? Mogul doesn't like being alone. Mogul doesn't like
Hmm.
being If anybody know Green Lantern lore, that's Mogul is the planet that's a Green Lantern, and that
Okay.
planet is usually a that planet is normally isolated. Like he's a like a how in Guardians what's his name, Star Lord's dad was like Eagle the Living Planet. It's
Hmm.
kind of the same thing. He was a
Okay.
basically a living planet that was a lantern.
Okay.
So that was a nice little nod. For any fans, they gave us a nice little nod there. But like I said, if anybody's a fan of this universe, you watch Peacemaker, and most recently you watch Superman. The fact that the lantern is in a pocket dimension, that's
Yep.
another way of telling you this show is in the same universe. It doesn't
Yep.
have to be the same tone, but they're gonna do things to let you know that yeah, it's in the same universe, guys. So for people trying to figure out this show is grounded, it's nothing like Superman. How are they're gonna tie it in? Well, little shit like this ties it in. It easily ties
Yeah.
it in,
It's gonna be like
and
the little pieces
everything
that
doesn't
do it.
have to be the same. Yeah, everything doesn't have to be the same tone. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? That's how you tell great stories. But John reached in the pocket dimension, take the lantern out, and the design of that lantern is dope. That
Yeah.
shit looks dope as hell, yo.
It looks very antique. But that's why I like it
Yes.
because it just tells you how long Hal Jordan has been a Lantern. So if
Hmm.
something was made back when he started, that is exactly what I'm not, again, I'm not a huge Green Lantern fan, so Green Lantern fans correct me if I'm wrong, but that's what I would think it would look like
Hmm.
back in the day. It would look like it's very old school, and I like that a lot. Um, but also when I saw this part of me, okay, at this is not necessarily the middle, but the beginning of the episode, I started to think a lot of things
Hmm.
about Hal Jordan at this point that I'm wondering if they're going to cover these answers. Number one, I felt like Hal Jordan was supposed to give the ring over to John Stewart, have him trained up way earlier, but he's trying to use this last moment to try to figure out whatever
Mm,
this mystery is. And he knows he's supposed to give it up,
yeah.
but he's like, all right, I got to get this out before my last run. I know I got to give it up. So let me appease John Stewart and make it seem like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. So if the Guardians ask, I am training him like I'm supposed to, but I got my own thing going on. And then also it makes me wonder if he's doing some type of course correction from something he knew about in the past that he allowed slip through his fingers and now it's starting to rear his head and he's trying to fix it. And he knows that John Stewart is like you said, he's probably powerful than he thought by having that bird on him without it going away without the ring. He's like, I want to solve this without his name on it. I want my name on this when I solve it. So this is just questions that I have. I have really nothing any of it, but it's just got the wheel spinning in my head.
Yeah, but yeah, we also gotta realize that this is a connection to Abin Sur. So Hal Jordan's been wondering about this thing for 30 years.
Hmm.
Since 1986, since he got the ring, he's
Yep.
been trying to figure this out. Why did Abin Sur ship crash down the location that it crashed down at? Like, he's been trying to figure this out for a while. So so of course he's gonna want to. He's definitely gonna want to solve this.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then you know as John takes the lantern. He puts the key back. He's getting ready to go. Then boom, he gets attacked. He gets attacked.
Hmm.
And then it cuts to the it cuts to the next scene. No, I'm trying to remember. If it cuts to Hal Jordan or did it cut to? No, I think it cuts to while they're in the
In
van.
the truck. Yeah.
He's in the van with he's in the van with his attackers. You know, he asks him he asks him where he asks the guy where's my bird, and the bird's in the guy's hand. Yo, the fact that he's unconscious and he's still concentrated enough to keep that
Hmm.
bird going, yo, that's something crazy.
Crazy.
That's serious right there, dude. That is serious. But
Yeah.
fight goes off. You know, the fighting starts, which is a nice little battle. And at first, you think to yourself, "Hold up, John, you're an army veteran, bro. Like army, marines, whatever. You a sniper. Like you better start kicking these niggas. You better start kicking these dudes' ass. Like, because he was getting rocked.
Yeah.
But then when he pushed when he got both of them pushed out the van and he starts running in the street and it pans back, so we see, oh, this ain't a regular person, this is an alien that
Nah.
he's fighting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he fighting an alien, and then he's running down the highway, does this nice slow mo flip over a car, which was dope.
Yeah.
And then he catches the bird and then turns around and boom, gets hit with a van.
Hmm.
Like,
Yep.
bro, gets hit with a black
And
van,
he
which
was
is
booking it too.
wild. Yeah, yeah,
He was booking it. He's booking it.
he was hitting it, man. He
Like
was
Trinity.
hitting it, bro. He was hitting it. Yeah, facts. But yeah,
But it
he
was
gets hit with a
crazy
black
because dude in the
van.
car
Like,
was like you said, he was super strong. He picked him up off the ground, slammed him into the roof,
yup.
slammed him to the other side. Like I was like, okay, like you were saying, I was like, he's an army vet getting destroyed like this. But once he fought dude 1-on-1 in the van, I was like, okay, I get it. He a little stronger than normal. Oh, did he freeze up?
Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, we good.
Okay, okay, okay. I feel like we froze up a little bit, but yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, but it cut to Hal Jordan, um, going to I think yeah, it cut to the Hal Jordan going to the hospital or wherever he went, um, to go get the bodies.
Right.
He go get all the four bodies and then take them back to the football field
Mm-hmm.
to pass them through those metal detectors, because the metal detectors, he noticed earlier in the episode, he noticed that the metal detectors, when he went through with metal, it didn't go off.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we find out that people, including the sheriff, is not being really honest.
Nope.
So he goes through the metal detectors with the alien, and lo and behold, it goes off. So we find out that those four guys that were shot were aliens.
Yep.
They weren't regular people. They weren't human. No, they were fucking aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And then we find that out. And then we do find out who those four were, as well as the guy that blew himself up in the police station, because it
Yep.
cut to John Stewart as he's being captured. one of the guys. I think his name is Anton, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it was.
Um, yeah, Anton. He was talking to John Stewart, which is an alien race. So I've seen some theories that he could be like a Red Lantern, like he could
Mm,
be part of the Red Lantern core or whatever it is. I don't really know. Honestly, I don't see anything that says that. It could be true though. I don't know. But but now we get introduced because he talks about manhunters. We finally get introduced to the manhunters. And I would like to add though, I've seen all three trailers to this series, all three of the trailers. And I love the fact that in those trailers, 95% of those trailers is from just the first two episodes of this show.
mhm.
So
Yep,
there's so much they have not shown us at all. So for
yep.
everybody there that was talking so much mess because they didn't see a whole bunch of Green Lantern stuff and da 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 this and that. Well, there's a reason for that. They're setting you up because that stuff is coming later in the season. They're
It's
not
really
gonna
clear too.
show they don't want to show you that and spoil that in the trailers. So I love the fact that most of the stuff that we saw before the show started was from the
Yep.
first two episodes. Amazing. I love that. The fact that they got those trailers were good too. I love those trailers. All three of them. And
Mhm,
the fact that majority of that stuff came from the first two episodes, awesome. But we see him talk about manhunters, and for everybody who don't know, manhunters were the first space police force created by the Guardians before they created Green Lanterns.
mhm.
And they're supposed to be sentient. They're supposed to be androids. That's one of the things they kind of changed a little bit for their show. Because if I remember correctly, manhunters are kind of like androids, like space androids. They don't really shapeshift. So I could be wrong. Maybe people, anybody watch the video, comment, let me know if I'm wrong or not. Um, but they don't shapeshift. So I think that's one of the things they changed about the Manhunters because he explained they could take the form of anyone, any human, of any species. And he talks about what happened. He talks about the Manhunters completely destroying his world, just to bring on their own brand of justice. Basically, he said, and one of the things he said to John was, how would you feel if one of your loved ones was 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 the one was the one killing your whole race? And
Right.
they stuck some device into John's head because basically said he's gonna imprint, he's gonna show you basically the Holocaust that my people went through.
Mhm.
I'm actually glad they didn't actually show it. Other shows, if this was a Disney Plus series, they would have showed actual images of like aliens like killing people and da da da. We don't need to see that. All we need to do is
Right.
look at John's face and look at the horror on his face of what he's seeing in his mind.
Mhm.
And that's all we needed to see. And all we need, so Anton gives John, he said he gives him 48 hours to. Oh, but one of the things that, like I said, so we find out that the four aliens that got killed is a part of his crew.
Yep.
So those aliens and the guy that blew up, because when he said when the guy that blew up, he said Hal asked him why is he here, and he says vengeance, and that's the vengeance that they're talking about. They're trying to capture that manhunter for
Mhm.
basically destroying their whole planet. And we also find out that the manhunt that Abin Sur is the one that captured the manhunter. And Abin Sur, we don't know where he was going with the manhunter, but he was going somewhere with the manhunter. And I guess the manhunter either found a way to escape, sabotage Abin Sur's ship, but the manhunter is the reason why Abin Sur got shot down
Right.
and came to and got shot down and came to Earth. So so everything's starting to tie in and tie together, with that.
Yeah, no, that's true, and it makes you wonder, like, if that's the same fate that's gonna happen with Hal Jordan in the future, because we saw him, like, in the last episode at the end, sitting in that football field with snow, just sitting there freezing, uh, from what it looks like dead without the ring. So
Mm,
it just makes you
yeah,
wonder, if that was the same fate that he suffered, because it's in the same vicinity that Ivan Stewart passed away as well. So I think that
yeah.
whole is pretty interesting. Kind of circling back around to that story. And I think maybe there's some level of how Jordan kind of questioning himself, like, okay, um, I didn't really earn this ring. I got it. Is it by
Mm.
happenstance? Right. And now he's at a point where probably the Guardians are like, hey, it's time to give up that ring. So he's kind of like in this place where it's like he's like kind of having some type of internal conflict of uh of who he is.
Well, I don't. Well, I don't know about. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know about he didn't earn the ring because the ring chose him.
Right.
The ring
Right.
chose him. He Abensor probably told the ring to pick a a worthy successor. He knew he was dying. He was pretty much dying.
Right.
So I think the ring chose Hal. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
different
Yeah.
from John. Like obviously the Guardians chose John, but I do think the ring chose Hal. So
Yeah.
I don't believe that Hal wasn't necessarily worthy. Maybe Hal a part of him feels like that,
That's what
but
I'm
the
saying.
ring chose him for a reason.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like it
You know what I
wasn't the
mean? So
traditional
yeah.
Guardian saying that this is the guy, even though the ring chose him. Maybe that's his thing. Like, okay, maybe the
Hmm.
Guardians are having this issue with him. Like, you're doing this wrong. He's like, well, you didn't choose me. The ring chose me. So why do I got to listen to you? Like, I'm not like one of those regular guys. Like, I'm
Yeah.
getting this stuff done like I'm supposed to
Hmm.
get done. And what do you? I wonder if that plays into the conflict he has with the Guardians at this point in time. Outside of obviously him being Hal Jordan and doing the things that he want to
I
do,
think,
he's
and I
like,
think,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, but I think I also, no, no, I also think Hal thinks the Guardians, the Guardians either have something to do with this. They know about something and they're hiding it because
Mm-hmm.
Hal didn't know about manhunters either. He just
Mm-hmm.
he heard the word manhunter before, but he don't know exactly about the manhunters. Meaning the Guardians didn't tell him anything. So that's another thing, another reason to
That is
give
true.
Hal another reason not to trust the Guardians. You know what I mean? He don't trust
And that's
them
and that's
at
why
all.
that's he don't, that's what I'm saying. Like, because it adds to it. Because he's like, okay, and we had a situation later on where he was talking to John Stewart, and he's like, how do you even know about that? What do you know about that? He's like, because and why would they take you? Why would like? And now he's like, you know that name already, and you probably know more than you're telling me. This whole thing with the freaking bird where you don't have the ring, the Guardians are in on this. You're probably a part of them, and that's probably
Hmm.
why they want you to be my successor. So he probably feels like everything is against him at this point in time,
Hmm.
including the Guardians. So
Yeah.
it's a whole.
Yep.
He even said it. He said, "I don't trust any. He don't trust anybody," which I can understand.
Me too. Me too. And it also it's funny. Oh, we also we can't skip too far ahead because
Oh yeah, yeah,
um Hal was driving around in the
yeah,
car with the dead bodies, and he finally gets pulled over chef and you again, bro. Like, dude, you
yeah.
again. Like, why do you have the dead bodies in your car, dude? And then Hal's talking to her, and he's like, and she came clean because she knows about the alien detectors.
Mm-hmm.
She clean. She said, "Yeah, nah, yeah, you finally you caught up to me, whatever, blah blah blah." And then she's like, and then Hal's like, your father-in-law has something to do with this and is behind this.
Yep.
So they talk, and then finally he convinces the sheriff to take him over back to the ranch. And they go back to the ranch. Hal's trying to talk to Macon. The guard with the guard with the big gun, it's not letting him
Yep.
go through. And we finally see Macon coming down to the gate and his horses, And Hal's talking to him, asking him, what's going on. He's telling him, I know there's something on in this ranch that you don't want me to see. Because Hal says, he says, I've been all over the galaxy and still haven't seen technology like that, like that,
Yep.
like you have in those metal detectors.
Yep.
Macon doesn't want to give him anything. Macon even said it like when he first popped up. He's like, I'm trying to figure out why are you still here. So for sure, he's hiding something on that ranch. And he
Yeah.
does not want Hal Jordan to find out anything. And it's his benefactor clearly that doesn't want Hal Jordan involved or know anything.
Yep.
So Macon warns him. He's like, listen, I got a sniper over there that is that has orders to shoot anyone down. And Hal makes his little smart remarks. He's like, "That's not very cordial. That's not very cordial." And then he
Yeah.
starts to say, "Like, you know, how you gonna shoot me down? All I'm gonna do with my ring." And before he got to finish that sentence, boom, he got
Yeah.
shot
Shot.
right in the shoulder.
That whole
The
thing
sniper got him right in the shoulder,
when he
and
was joking
then
about
like,
Macon,
yeah,
he's like, "You're a cowboy and you can't talk because of NDA." That's not what a Marlboro cowboy would do. They would just be straightforward and come out. And he's
mhm.
like, "Well, that's not
Yeah,
very
yeah, yeah.
neighborly." Like he's like, the way he was talking about him, it was kind of funny. And what I love about him and Macon's wife is they have this one thing in common that connects them. Not only do they are they very inquisitive when it comes to detective work, like when they see something, they can't
Hmm.
help but want to know more. And I think the only difference between
Yeah.
the two is that Hal Jordan is willing to take the chance of trying to figure things out. But in both of the situations, like we just talked about, Hal Jordan with the Guardians, he's being overseen by certain people that he don't really trust. He thinks there's more behind the scenes, or he knows some things and he wants to dig more into it. But the wife has the same situation, but with her husband and their family, where she's like, I know some stuff
Hmm.
going on here. I can't really do much. I don't have enough support to do so. But they both found each other, and
Yeah.
by trying to figure out what's going on, it takes down probably the Guardians, but also, of course, takes down Macon's family as well. So I like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, me too. I like that dynamic for sure. And we also do see that Hal basically wakes up in the hospital. He
Yeah.
wakes up in the hospital, realizing he got shot, and we see Sheriff Carey sitting there by his bedside, waiting for him to wake up. He's a little surprised, like, "Oh, you sitting there waiting for me?" And then she tells him she she want to make sure the anesthesia wears off or whatever. She was reading a book, but then in the midst of their conversation,
Hmm.
she asks him about Sinestro, and we finally get
Interesting.
Sinestro mentioned because Hal apparently been mentioning Sinestro in his sleep. Now Hal is reluctant to tell her anything about Sinestro, um, but it's starting to, in my head, I'm trying to figure out who's the manhunter in this town because the manhunter has to be in this town.
Hmm.
And I ain't gonna lie to you, I love their chemistry, but I'm starting to suspect Sheriff Carey
Me too.
because in that hospital bed, she asking too many questions about stuff that she don't need to know about,
Right.
or does she already know about them? You know what I mean? So
Or she
I'm
could be
starting
lying
to
about him
think that
saying it in his
she
dream too.
know that's true. She could be lying about that. Maybe he didn't talk about Sinestro in the dream, and she's just,
Hmm.
you know, and she is the manhunter, and she wants to know where Sinestro, and that manhunter wants to know where Sinestro is.
Yep.
So it could be. I hope she's not the manhunter because I like her, but
But that's
I
the
like
only way they
her.
can do it.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I
It
like
got
her,
to
and
be
I like
somebody
the
you like.
chemistry. That's true though. That's true though. Because it being Macon is too obvious. Like, come on now, that's no mystery there. It's too damn obvious for him to actually be the manhunter.
Right.
It would be interesting if the manhunter was the kid, but I don't think so.
What kid? Like
Um,
the son?
yeah, the son
That would
that was
be
throwing football,
crazy.
the son that was throwing the football with John. John was throwing the
Yeah.
football. That would be wild.
That
That
would
would
be
be
he
so
was in the
wild.
house this whole time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was thinking about that. That'll be
But it is
crazy.
kind of weird that they are. I mean, it ain't weird because he's not a star of the show, but he is a
Mhm.
character that's not really on the screen at all. So it's not really much that they can give away to give us that he is the Manhunter. So if he pops up and end
Yeah,
up being it, that'd be crazy.
but that's the thing, though. I don't think. Let's say he is the man. I'm not saying he. I don't think so either. But let's say
Yeah,
he is. I don't think. Like yeah, last episode. I don't think that's not. That I don't think that's gonna be the last time we see him. I think we're
right,
gonna see him more.
right.
Um, because I think we're gonna spend the whole season in this town. So that's what I feel like. We're gonna spend the whole
Mm,
season in this town. Well, in 2016, we're gonna spend the whole season because remember, I think it's gonna still go back and forth with 2026 on
oh,
16
for sure.
because John still has to solve what happened to Hal in the future. Um, but so they cuts through. So we cut through John. I guess he stops by a diner to get a coffee because after everything he went through,
Yeah,
and who do we see magically at the same diner he's at? Is
yeah.
Zoe.
Alien Gilf.
Uh, yeah. Yo, facts. Alien Gil, facts. Yeah, she's sitting there like in my head I'm like John, bro, you hit it, quit it, bro, just quit
Yeah,
it.
let it go.
Don't even go, don't even go to the table, my guy. Please don't. And, of course the dude don't listen. Probably want another round. But anyway, um, so he gets to the table. They're talking, having a conversation about and the show wants you to think Zoe's the manhunter. I
Yep.
think the show wants you to think that
But it's
because
so obvious
she's
that it's not her.
too. Yeah, like she knows things. She's hinting at some things, and I think the show wants you to definitely suspect Zoe. Wants you to definitely suspect her.
Yeah,
Um, I don't think it's her. I don't think it's any of the makings. And
yeah.
and the sheriff is not really a making. She got married in, so she's not really a making like that. Even though she got
I think
married
she's
into
got to
it,
be
she's not really a
to be
making.
honest, I think she's the furthest away of being a manhunter than anyone. And the only reason why I say that is because
Who?
when it comes to these detective shows, when they make somebody look like they're the person so heavily in the first couple
Mhm.
episodes, they're nowhere near
Yeah,
being that
yeah.
person. Nowhere.
That could be true. That could be true. Like I said, I hope it's not. I hope it's not the sheriff. I like her a lot. I hope it's not. I like her a
That'd be a
lot.
great twist though.
Um, yeah, 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 for sure. So after that conversation, we get back to the little rinky dink motel.
Yeah.
Sorry motel, don't know your name, but anyway, we get to the motel, and then Hal's sitting there drinking a beer, and then him and John have a little back and forth, and then John finally decides because, like I said, because Zoe was talking about trust too, and John was talking about trust with her, how he doesn't trust how Jordan doesn't think how Jordan trusts him, yada yada. And then so he's checking out the rental. He sees all the alien blood on the seat, and
Like,
Hal's
what is
got a
this?
smile on his face. Yeah, like Hal got a smile on his face, like he's so happy that he fucked up the rental. Like bro, like
Mhm.
this big smile on his face. But John finally tells Hal what happened to him, and that shows you, to me, that shows you that John still really respects Hal Jordan.
Yeah.
He
Mhm.
might be pissed off at him. He might annoy the hell out of him. He might not trust him totally, but he still respects the chain of command, and he still respects Hal Jordan because he's been watching Hal Jordan on TV since he was a little kid.
Yep.
So he still has that respect for him. So he tells him everything that's going on. He's like, and Hal Jordan's like, I knew it. I knew there was something going on here. My gut is never wrong. Um, we come to find out when Hal looks into the bag where the lantern is, he sees that John brought his suit. And he said John brought his suit anyway, which is a good thing he did.
Mhm.
But one thing I like that was cool when Hal went to go recharge the ring, he said the oath. The oath you have to say the oath to recharge the ring.
Mhm.
But he said it so quickly and without any type of like oomph to it. I'm wondering, like, That just shows you he's not really. He's a Green Lantern. He wants to protect people, but he doesn't. I feel like he does. He doesn't believe in the Green Lantern anymore.
Yeah,
If that
yeah.
makes
Some
sense.
something happened that changed his heart
Like
and his
he
views.
believes in protecting people. He believes on. Hmm.
Hmm.
Yep, that's true for sure. So John goes into his room, and Hal gets his look on his face. So lo and behold, he puts on a suit. He goes outside. He flies. Which this scene was dope. To
It
see him
was.
fly away, fly off planet to this planet, and we come to find out he goes into this planet. He walks through. He walks through the prison, and there he is, the man, the myth, the legend,
Sinestro.
Sinestro, the
Yeah,
guy. Oh man, this scene was so good. Oh my god, it was so
it was.
good. Because
It
Hal
was.
asked him about manhunters. He's like, "What do you know about manhunters?" He said, "Manhunters." He said, "Manhunters are the second greatest threat you'll ever see." And then you're thinking, like, "Okay, what's the first?" And then right after he said that, he said, "So tell me about John Stewart." And I'm like, and then the episode cuts off like, so that's still been in jail. How the hell you know about John Stewart?
Yep. Yep.
Like, this is crazy, bro. This is crazy.
Yep.
I have a I have a theory that Sinestro turned to the Yellow Ring and turned evil because he found something out about the Guardians that made him completely lose trust and faith in the belief of the Green Lantern.
Hmm.
And how Jordan didn't know about all of that yet. So he's doing his duty, his oath to go after his mentor because I think in
Oh.
what's going on? Yep,
Oh. What? Oh, it kind of froze a little bit.
I'm here.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So because I think because if I remember correctly, Abin Sur trained Sinestro.
Okay.
So I think what happened to Abin Sur, Sinestro found out the Guardians has something to do with that. So, and I think that pissed Sinestro off because Abin Sur is his mentor. But I think
Right.
all of that shit is connected. That's just my theory. I think all of that is connected. But I can't wait for the next episode, man, because now we're gonna see the next episode. Really, if you watch the preview, it looks like it's gonna be mostly a John backstory,
Hmm.
which is dope. I'm hyped for that to get a full like backstory slash origin of John Stewart. But I think it's gonna mostly be a John backstory. But we also gonna get that conversation with Sinestro. Can't wait.
Yeah, that's gonna be very interesting because it's gonna clear up a lot of stuff. And again, how Jordan found somebody else who has, if this what you're saying is true, that has a similar
Hmm.
background where they don't trust the Guardians as well. So that's gonna be another thing. And then John Stewart, who's 100% for the books, that's what's gonna create that conflict between him and
Hmm.
Hal. And that's gonna be really, really interesting. Hey, freeze.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Yeah. So that's gonna be great. That's gonna be great because like Sinestro, right? His
So over
ring is fueled by fear,
so
right?
yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yes. Yeah, that's the whole Yellow Lantern. It's all about fear. That's why the yellow is is basically the biggest weakness of the Green Lantern because
Okay.
it's fear fear based.
Hmm. Okay. That's gonna be interesting.
That's why they ask that question like, are you afraid?
So how does it work though? Does it draw off of someone else's fear, or is it like what is how does it work? Because I'm not too familiar.
Um, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I just think it I think it does draw off your fear. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, my Green Lantern knowledge ain't like in depth like that. So
Yeah,
I'm not 100% sure about that part. But I do know, the yellow is it is based on fear.
yeah,
I do know that part, and I do know that's the weakness. That's one of the big weaknesses for the Green Lantern.
right.
Is the yellow ring. So I'm not 100% sure about that.
Yeah, because the only reason why I asked that, if somehow, some way, Sinestro has
Mhm.
access to the yellow ring, and maybe he said what he said to Hal Jordan to strike up fear to give power to that ring and try to escape that prison. So I'm wondering if that's what he's trying to do.
If he's in prison, he doesn't have his ring though.
I know, but I wonder if it's somehow, some way that,
I
and
don't
I don't
think.
have nothing to prove that someone could probably,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah. Yeah,
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 I don't
yeah.
know.
Because Hal Jordan put him there. Like once he turned on the Guardians, he got his yellow ring.
Right.
Um, and I think he killed. I think he killed one of the Guardians too, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I don't. He's in that prison. I don't think he has his ring. Because if he had his ring, he'd be gone. He'd be out of there.
True. True.
That's for sure. So
Hmm. Yeah, just
yeah,
something to think, just something to think about. Because here's the other thing. Even if he did have his ring, if there's no one there that's full of fear, does that deplete the ring, or does the ring continue to have power whether there's fear around it or not? Like maybe he has a
no, I
dead
do. I
that's
do.
just
No, I do still think he'll still have power. Like the ring still has power.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, yeah, I'm learning. I'm learning now. I don't know
Mhm.
anything about the Yellow Lantern Corps or anything like that, but yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So what did you think about the episode overall?
I think it was a pretty good episode. I think episodes 1 and 2. I like the tone of it. I love the tension that's starting to build little by little. The seeds being
Mhm.
planted. The division that's obviously going to start happening as time goes on between John Stewart and Hal Jordan. What's going on with the Makins? What's the truth between Hal Jordan and the Guardians? Sinestro, what's the secret between their relationship and their views? Because Hal Jordan obviously visited him for some reason. I like that they showed us a lot, but didn't tell us everything. And that's the thing I love about like detective shows. They keep you watching to try to figure out what's next. And I love the chemistry and the acting and everything like that. Also, to point out, remember the Macon's wife, she said she's from Gotham.
You good? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you.
Okay, okay. I'm probably gonna use a different streaming thing. I think it's a StreamYard doing this because someone told me they've been doing this lately. But I was just talking about how she was the officer. She said she's from Gotham, which I thought was interesting too.
Mm. Yo, I thought that was hella dope.
Yeah.
That's a second Gotham reference in the DCEU. First one was in Superman. This is a
Yep.
second Gotham reference in the DCEU, so I'm hyped for that. Hmm. For
So
sure.
what'd you think? What'd you think
But yeah,
about the
I
episode?
like this episode. I thought it was a yeah, 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 I like the episode. I thought it was a dope episode. Um, is it maybe is maybe I think I like episode one a little bit better, but not
I
like
agree.
a lot better, like just a little bit better. But I do think this was a great second episode. It pushed the narrative further, pushed the mystery further. We start to get some answers, but we don't get all the answers,
Hmm.
obviously. And it makes me more hype because I see that they're just setting it up, they're setting things up and getting us ready for what's about to go. And I'm not.
Hmm. Yep. That's what I like about the show, and it's the pacing is great. I never feel bored in either one of these
Mhm.
episodes, so they're doing a really good job.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody's watching. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is our review recap of episode 2, season 1 of Lanterns. How did you guys feel about the episode? What are some points and things that we probably missed out on that we didn't notice? Easter eggs, points that could probably tell us what's happening in the future. If you guys are geniuses when it comes to this lantern stuff, your information is welcomed as well, because I'm learning. I don't know pretty much
Mhm.
nothing about Green Lantern outside of the colors, but other than that, I'm still learning along the way. But again, thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already, hit the like, subscribe, hype the video. Be sure to watch the shorts as well. Thank you guys so much for your support. This is Hear These Thoughts. That's CJ. We out.